Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sci-Fi Cinema. With me is Gorilla's Random Thoughts. How you doing, Gorilla?
I'm doing pretty good, even though you want to smack me.
Well, I
There.
honestly I should have known that Predator was not in your knowledge base.
Yeah. Yes, that falls under should have, would have, could have.
And greetings, Mr. Lindell.
Hey, Mr. Lundell, how's it going?
Okay, we got another episode of Andromeda for you. Today we have Angel Dark, Demon Bright, episode 6. So let's get this going. Both links are in the pinned comment if you want to join along. Here we go. Things a little sluggish today.
You are, am I?
Oh, on my end.
Yeah, this is how we lost the what's the name of the ship again? The Ascension. Yeah, that's how they lost the Ascension.
Oh. Like she understands that.
Yeah, she'll learn eventually.
It's not always the best advice, especially for someone like her.
Yeah, she'll crash the ship. Is the slipstream supposed to look like like a damn brain?
A little bit, yeah.
Why can't the computer go through slipstream?
Artificial life forms can't pilot slipstream. Hey, LDG.
Hey, Pick,
Haven't
how's
really
things
missed
going?
much yet. Both links are up top for you.
Hmm.
Very good opening for a early 2000s show.
Guys, being too nice.
Yeah. But it wasn't an accident. Well, that's one way of putting it. I venture to say that this show is superior to Babylon 5. It's damn close, Mr. Lindell. They're neck and neck. They both suffer in the last season. I'd say this one not as much as Babylon 5, though. This way, watch the whole series, LDG, you'll come to the same conclusion.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't had kids yet. This is a first watch through for me, so.
He has a very interesting interpretation of history.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is his first time seeing Andromeda, too. So just give it time, LDG. You'll come to realize the truth.
Well, you know what they say. History's written by the victors.
Only he wasn't the victor. He grew up on post apocalyptic Earth. Good precaution.
Wait, only 13 damn months? There's something fishy here.
Yeah. Trance made a boo boo.
Yeah.
Sort of. Her accidents end up sort of saving the universe sometimes.
Uh, uh,
Smart man. No, he's right about that. He makes a very good point. Well, seeing as who you had in the pilot seat at the time, very, very high.
yeah.
Yeah, Tyr makes a good argument. Turn around and go back to their own time. That would be the best thing. Well, would everyone rather be a slave or be Magog food?
And he says Tyr makes a good argument. They should just turn around and go back to their own time.
Sure, respect. Hopefully, a little more accurate than his version.
Yeah.
Sure, it is. Almost being the key word there. Those names are pretty bad.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
electric chair, that's not bad.
None of those things sounds as bad as being food for a ravenous species of essentially gremlins.
Yeah.
Probably the only member of the crew that couldn't hurt her if his life depended on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She can control the food dispensers and the oxygen.
Mm.
She can kill him 100 different ways in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, always has a plan. Not much of a difference.
What species is she supposed to be?
I have no idea.
Can we just call her Spoonhead?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember them ever even featuring that species again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sporkhead works a little better. Don't want to confuse them with Cardassians.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to destroy them all.
Yeah.
Just sneak away. This is what I try explaining about time travel to people. It's predestined that there are 500 ships at the battle, and Dylan is there to make that happen. Yep.
Huh?
Hey, Tig.
I heard that there was
Hey,
some
T.
Gene Roddenberry programming being shown, and I had to show up.
Yeah, I think we're about 2/3 halfway through the episode.
Yeah.
Can't wait to check it out a little more. It's kind of cool.
Have you ever seen Andromeda before?
Familiar with it, but I haven't seen too many episodes. It was just on like at a time in my life where I was doing many things.
Yeah, the early 2000s wasn't a very convenient time for pretty much anyone.
But yeah, anyone like near our age, right? I was like having fun.
Yeah, I was still in high school at the time.
I'm hearing an echo. Is it just me?
Just you.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any.
Kick me out and bring me back, please.
Do you have YouTube on still?
No, I turned off all my other browsers. That's the weird part. And you're not
Okay.
hearing it in my
Kick-
mic, which means I might only be hearing it in my ears.
No, I'm hearing something like you got another
Okay.
YouTube.
So you come back. I think I may hit. I think that was the wrong button.
Oh.
All right, I got it. It helps to turn off your fucking phone
Yeah,
on the other device.
Sure. Like Tyr could actually kill her.
I like that this guy went to the Bennett School of Fashion for that chainmail shirt. Is she maybe like a hologram?
yeah, she is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm remembering a lot of this now.
There's actually 3 versions of her: hologram, android, and screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Funny
Occam's
enough, they're
razor.
all independent personalities.
I keep trying to buy Occam's razor, but Dollar Shave doesn't have it. You know what would have helped that scene? A couple more people on the bridge crew, like a navigator.
Well, there's only a handful of them on that ship.
And this guy looks familiar as fuck.
A little more so. Well, Mr. Lundell, he kills one version of her. She's just walking back up in about 5 minutes.
So she's like Picard is now. If his body's destroyed, we just re-upload him into a new one.
Sorta.
Good memories of playing Halo Reach, watching these effects.
A little over dramatic.
That line sounds familiar from something.
It's
Oppenheimer.
from the Barbie movie. But yeah, that's what it was. I knew it was from one of them. I thought it was from the Barbie movie.
No, like I seen it. Like it's that like that thing is
It's
that,
Hindi. It's from like the Book of the Dead or something. It's like now I've become death, the destroyer of worlds.
Yeah.
It's referring to Shiva, so whatever belief system that comes from.
That's Hindi.
I'll be right back.
I can't believe.
And regardless of what people tell you, Oppenheimer did not come up with that quote on the spot. He knew what they
And
were
he got it
doing,
wrong.
and he spent a month getting that quote ready, at least.
And he misquoted it. They also had like $100 bet whether or not the entire world would be destroyed by the explosion because they thought the oxygen in the atmosphere would start burning.
Not quite strong enough for that.
That's why the guy betting against it was like, yeah, I'll take that bet. You can't really lose. It's like, this is a good day. Not only was I not destroyed in an atomic explosion, but I'm $100 richer.
Yeah.
The one thing they didn't know was how big the blast radius would be. Kevin Sorbo ordered his Klingon from Wish.
No, that's the Kazon.
The K's on our kind of Wish Klingon. So this guy, though, he's like being a little bit Klingon-like in his outfit.
No, he's Vulcan's
A
order
little bit.
from Wish.
Well, he did have that weird foreknowledge, like prophecy that he was like quoting. That was kind of Vulcan-like, but he was like emotional while I was doing it. I don't know. It's different species, I guess. I mean, it happens.
He's right.
He is right.
Lindell's saying it's a $10 bet.
Was it? Okay. Thank you, Mr. London.
What was the $10 bet?
They weren't sure
Oppenheimer.
if it might be in the movie. I didn't see the movie, but they didn't know how big the explosion was going to be, and they were like taking bets on whether or not the oxygen in the air would start to burn. And if that happens, once oxygen starts burning, right, all the other oxygen will get sucked towards it, and that'll be it. So the bet was like basically couldn't lose, because if you lost, everyone dies. I like bonsai trees.
Why'd she cut half of it off?
Because she did her job. Yeah, that's our episode for the night. Great episode.
was pretty. What I caught was pretty good. It made sense. I understood how they
Yep.
were traveling around. The effects weren't so great, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, early
And
2000s and low budget TV show.
it was a decent low budget TV show. What happened? Gene Roddenberry wrote an outline and a pilot, and then he just wasn't there to do the actual episodes because like the humor and stuff was off here and there.
Yeah, he was long dead by the time this came out.
He wasn't around to polish the ideas, as they called it, when he got ready to put them together, like have them run them through the writers' room one more time.
Yeah, he had really nothing to do with it. It was basically outlines he had in notes, along with other jumbled stuff that he had.
So this is Majel Barrett's leftover vault room of Gene's ideas, and they did their best.
Yeah, like this and Earth's Final Conflict weren't really fleshed out ideas. They're just stuff he had like rough outlines for.
Earth Final Conflict gets further and further away from its original idea. The first star doesn't work out, but it did.
Yeah.
They seem to have a better like fake Roddenberry vibe than this. You know what I mean? Like they had a very good fake Roddenberry vibe to the show. It felt sort of Roddenberry-esque. It wasn't great, but it felt
At
kind of
first,
Roddenberry.
It fell apart really, really quickly.
When we switch co-stars, the episodes sometimes are okay, but it's just like the concept is too shot up at that point.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta get going though. So,
okay.
Great
You want to plug before you go?
yep. Tomorrow we're watching 2 episodes of season 4 of Justified. For Cristock, it's Plan 9 from Outer Space. Then on Friday, we're reviewing the Walton's episode The Car. Saturday, we're reviewing Dark City. And then Sunday, it's Flash Gordon.
Okay, sounds good.
So you guys have a good night.
Later, Gorilla. Great to see you, man.
Yeah, great to see you too.
Yeah, this is definitely a vast improvement over Earth 2.
I liked Earth Final Conflict, but I didn't see, like, I don't know, like, did that show didn't so much end it kind of like petered out. It was like the season ends, the story wasn't over, and it just doesn't come back, if I remember right.
Earth's Final I'm not sure about Earth 2. I don't believe that got past.
Oh wait, no, Earth
1.
2 with Rebecca Gayheart. Yeah, Dylan's girlfriend from 90210.
But with
I remember that show.
Yeah, I don't believe it lasted too long.
It lasted like 3 or 4 weeks because I
partial.
Yeah, it only lasted like a half a season. And I think the reason people said they canceled it was because it was, quote, too much like Lost, which is weird, but I can kind of see it because they're going tomorrow. They go whatever. Earth 2 is kind of like weird and freaky, like that island from Lost, but they probably would have found a way to explain Earth
Genesis 2.
Was that what they called the planet? The show was called Earth 2. I don't know what they called their planet that they went to.
Yeah, it's been so long since I saw any of that. Even Earth Final Conflict.
Earth Final Conflict was on TV for a while, though. They used to put it on after Star Trek, and there was like 60 episodes by the time they were done. So like there was some storiness to it, but like again, like you said, the lack of Gene Roddenberry to really square certain circles.
I think 4 seasons and 4 different protagonists. Because Boone fell out.
William Boone, the guy with the red hair.
Boone, then the guy with the questionable creation. There was one more. The final season, that woman was actually the main star of it because the other guy walked out.
They did decide to make his sidekick the female who had been through all 4 seasons the star for the final season. They're like, wow, that's my.
I know she wasn't even in the first season, I believe.
She's not,
because the first season was Boone and the pilot, and then by the end of it, it was the blonde who was facing the new hybrid species. That was supposed to be the one that the main species descended from, or something like that.
And their makeup department made their bad guy alien look almost exactly like the fucking Suliban from Enterprise.
Nah, I don't remember what they looked like offhand. I just remember that season was horrible. I don't even think I even finished it.
Enterprise or Earth Final Conflict?
Earth Final Conflict.
That was one of those shows where you like, I want to hold on to the memories of Gene Roddenberry, especially with Voyager and Deep Space Nine being a little strange. When we turn this show on, and like you try to watch every one of them, and sometimes like by commercial break too, you're like, it's just not. They're not going to get it back together. And for the most part, you ended up being right when you would see the episode later on. You're like, yep, never got it back together.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went back and finished most of those. Once Boone left the show, it wasn't really worth watching anymore.
It's
It got
sort
so
of
far off track.
It's the reverse of Babylon 5, where when we get rid of the Michael O'Hare, even though it was really sad and everyone feels bad for what happened to him, was like, once we get rid of Michael O'Hare, for whatever reason, Bruce Boxleitner was just the man for that show. And that show leveled up to Star Trek level once he got there.
Yeah, it really got better after the first season.
They did everything that the audience was saying they needed to do. Don't be so arcane. Lower the stakes once in a while. Say things outright. Give us a fucking hero that we can get behind. And it's like, we'll try it with Scarecrow. And he was just better.
Oh yeah, he is definitely a better actor.
Well, right. O'Hare was probably a good actor, but what happened was like it coincided. You know this one too, right? It coincided with he had mental problems. It had nothing to do with drugs or anything like that. He had really bad problems.
Yeah,
there were androgynous people who had a serious. I don't remember that because they were all like evil and uncool, and they were trying to do some kind of like gene splicing, but I remember them being like bald and hairless and sort of yellowish in the way the Suliban were.
That was the first one, the androgynous one. But I think it was into season 3 that they got combined with their mortal enemy, and they essentially devolved into the race that spawned both of them.
Yeah, there's cosmetic changes to the bad. He's the good bad guy or the bad good guy. We don't even know. Like that alien who hangs out in the alien embassy and dispenses information. It's like sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad.
Yeah, that was the main.
Yeah,
alien.
I knew it was something like that. I wanted to say the Lem, but I'm like, that's B5.
I forget the species name, but by the end, it's a completely different species.
All right, yeah, Gene they weren't stupid. The show's actually called Gene Roddenberry's Earth Final Conflict. They had no idea. And I'm looking at him here. He looks like they don't do as much work on his face, but bad guy number 1 here is looking like a Suliban.
I think the skin texture maybe, but
I'm not saying he was clone. I'm not saying a clone, but here you can take a look. I got a picture of him. If you want to present it, let me see.
Yeah, that's Dawn right there, front and center.
Right.
That was the main species for most of the seasons. The last season, I forget what they changed into, but it is entirely different.
Did he maybe have like the textured weird skin? Is that why I'm thinking of Suliban, or it was just the fact that they were your generic
the texture of the skin. The texture of the skin was very similar.
Right,
probably something they would have done with the Suliban at the time, but they didn't have the budget to do it back then.
The Suliban seemed to have like little bits of like silica or sand in like the latex makeup that made up their skin to make them look kind of a little weird. Like their skin texture was different looking. It was some kind of cool makeup trick.
Off.
What was off was when they would use that early CGI and have them like slip under a door. That never looked right. It was cool. It was over in an instant, so I could get past it, but it never looked right.
Let's see if I can actually find the last season on here. Holy
And a lot
crap,
of
that
last
got to 110 episodes.
it stuck around for a while, yeah. That's how I was able to watch, catch the episodes a second time. It actually had like summer reruns and stuff. Like, it didn't do that bad. Gene Roddenberry's name had a huge cachet. And maybe I'm crazy or wrong, but they might have done something smart, like get some Star Trek people, like DC Fontana or someone, to help them with a couple of scripts. Because Andromeda also tries to call up some old Star Trek people too, don't they?
At some point,
Writing-wise.
yeah. But
Yeah, it's a smart idea. They wrote good TV.
because that them and Stargate, after DS9 and Voyager ended,
Right.
they took on cast and writers and other stuff. Because after Andromeda ends, the one who plays Andromeda actually becomes the new Doctor for SG1.
Okay. Stargate is like one that I'm glad I missed it, not because I don't think it's good, but because I hear so many people speaking so highly of it that I have like whatever 150, 220 original sci-fi stories that are from the golden age, really, and I'm going to be able to enjoy with some Star Trek people in them. So I'm happy about that. Check out Dave Cullen's review of Earth Final Conflict. It's spot on.
No.
Probably he knows his Star Trek and his Gene Roddenberry, but I mean, we're also talking about a guy who loved Picard season 3 and then backed away. He's probably spot on this, but like, yeah, no one's perfect. Although I will say this, he was the only person who had the bravery to say I was wrong about this, and he didn't really say how bad he messed up with the review. But if you read between the lines, he said he messed up fucking bad because he's like, I've decided I was wrong about a couple of things about Picard season 3, specifically Captain Shaw. And I'm like, wow, that character's on screen 30% of the show. So if you're wrong about him, that only leaves 70% left. If that's perfect, you're still only barely passing, you know?
Yeah, I stopped watching Colin stuff several years ago.
Just not your thing, or bored you, or
his accuracy sort of started falling off on stuff after he got hoodwinked out of all that money and basically being the head cheerleader for that one convention that never happened.
Oh, did he get sucked into the Fire Festival scandal? It happened, but it doesn't happen. Or is it a con?
Is some sort of like
it
free speech thing or creators convention thing, but
it's easy to
fell
get fooled
through,
in that
and
one.
he talked a lot of people into going along with that.
He may have unwittingly been party to this, and like once he thought it was a good idea, the people involved either he was in on it or he thought it was a great idea and he couldn't shut up about it, and he lost a lot of credibility. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew there was
year
something
that
about
was.
him. Really, just I know him from his Star Trek work, and most of the time I agree with most of what he says. You know, I have my own takes on Star Trek that are a little different than some people's. That's cool. People are allowed to think differently, but when he brought back that Picard review, I was like, I respect that you at least admitted you were wrong, because in that last episode, that rug pull, we find out that this one character who had been despicably istophobic throughout the whole show and was shown to be the problem, like he was like the real problem, was Captain Shaw, the captain of the Titan. He was like dead naming Seven with her former human name and all this other stuff, and it was made to show him to be like really a horrible bigot, right? And then at the end of the show, fucking Tuvok, scumbag Tim Russ is like, I have this letter from your captain from before he was killed, because obviously he gets killed, right? So they're like, it's a hollow letter, and he's like, I was totally wrong about 7 of 9. Even though she's only been out of the academy for about 10 months, I think she should be captain of a ship because she's the greatest ever, and no one should ever call her Hanson again. And they're like, you sent this before Picard and Riker arrived. And I'm like, So he just kept on being a fucking racist to her because he thought it was like would bring out the best in her or something. Like, what was the point of his actions after that? Where he keeps like using the name that he tells everyone specifically, never call her, never ever call her Hanson again. Only call her Seven. She should be a captain. She's the greatest. And then he's like, "You're a traitor. You're going to the Federation penal colony for the rest of the show." And we find out that beforehand he's like, "Make her a captain. She's the bestest ever."
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
They acted like it was brilliant. Like Terry Metalis was like, "Hold on while I suck my," you just like absolutely self-filleting on that one. It was ridiculous. And how people could say like, "Yeah, this was a great Star Trek story." I was just like, Beekler, man, what are you thinking? It's like clearly She-Hulk meant more to you than Star Trek ever did.
Yeah. Thankfully, I never really watched any of that. I think I maybe watched an episode and a half. But
I condemn it, and it's terrible, but it's been very, very good to me.
Yeah. Talking about it makes more money than the show actually did.
They have only lost money. My channel generates some money. So like as soon as I made nickel one, I'm like, I've done something Star Trek. That was the victory speech the first night you were there. I was like, I have my first super chat. I've done something Star Trek. New Trek has never done. Made money off Star Trek.
Yep. You have anything you want to? We're gonna have to get going here. You have anything you want to shout out before we go?
Sure, I'm a crazy idiot. My name is Admiral Teague. With the power of idiocy and stupidity, I will entertain you. You may know me from my thumbnails being reused by less creative creators. And I'm on usually next time will be probably Friday at like 6:30. And Sundays at 7:30. I got my friend Tony Stark with me hanging out. It's a fun time. My link's in the chat.
Sounds good. Thanks to Mr. Lindell for stopping by. He does a lot of the classic movies. He does a watch party on Saturdays. Let's see. And Cody Guy, I saw you in the Cosme Room. Thanks for stopping by the chat. LDG, check out the Underground at freethenet.org. And let's see if
22,000 subscribers. Congratulations on that one, LDG.
Yeah, congratulations on beating the system. And you sure beat the system almost to death.
He did exactly what he said he wanted to do. So congratulations and good on him. 22,000 subscribers. Way to go. Way to go. Yep. Honestly.
We'll be back Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific for an open panel roundtable. And Saturday, 8 a.m. for Saturday morning cartoons. The poll's up in the community tab. Right now, Rocket Power is winning. Please, someone make that different. I don't want Gorilla to gloat. So vote early, vote often. Don't vote for Rocket Power. So until next time, take care, everybody.
Bye.